It was a very well-off town, a lot of like doctors, lawyers, like very big people. But we were right on the edge of Wauwatosa, which is a lower socioeconomic class area. So we were part of that. So it's just weird going to school with all of those kids who grew up in that kind of lifestyle where they could have anything they wanted. And I was the daughter of a teacher and a postman. But it was good because my parents chose that area because of the schooling. It was one of the best in the state. The education I got there was amazing. So it was good for me in the long run. It's just weird.
While growing up in Brookfield, Wisconsin, Britney spent more time playing outdoors than she did indoors. But before she got into volleyball, she was involved in other sports.
I was definitely the tomboy. I went to a private school when I was little, from kindergarten to 4th grade, and it's such a small group, so there was either the girls who played cats and Barbies or the guys who played football, and I always sat with the guys and I played football with them, and I just ended up growing up with them, and I was always the tomboy of the group. I started off in basketball because my dad played college basketball, and it's just, we did All-Stars, which is the Christian league, and we started when I was 5, so pretty young. And then my cousin started playing softball, and she got a scholarship, and my dad saw how big of an opportunity that could be for me. So we started in softball when I was about 8 or 9, and I kept doing that, and those were the only 2 sports, and I thought I was going to go to college for one of those. And then 8th grade year, I found volleyball. My mom played college volleyball, but it was never really an idea for me until then, and I started playing, and it was a little league because I was more serious than the other 2, but I found that I just loved it more. I was lucky with my skills. I was in one of the lower clubs in the area to begin with, and then I decided just to try out for the best club. And I was like, you know what, I'll be okay with a 3s team because they're good, the name is good. And I ended up making the 1s team. The coach decided to take a chance on me, and he took me. But he never let me slack off. There was no idea of, oh, you're good enough. It's like, you can do better than that. He was one of those coaches where if I got a kill when I was an outside, he wouldn't applaud me. He's like, that's your job, that's what you're supposed to do. But if I were to do something out of the box, then he'd be like, okay, that deserves praise.
As she continued to find her way in the sport, Britney would soon be faced with an unexpected change on the court.
It's kind of a funny story. I started as a middle when I was with the little club, and then I transitioned to an outside right side hitter, and I stayed there. And I was actually being recruited like very intently for that until my junior year, and that's the big year for volleyball recruiting.
Her dad said something interesting that they told me her history, that she had been an outside hitter, and in her junior year, which is very late for our sport, to turn into a setter. But someone suffered an injury and she became a setter, and then that put her on a different path to her college career.
So in the heat of the recruiting, my setter broke her ankle, and we had no one else to help her out. So my coach looked at me and he's like, you have good enough hands, go ahead. And so I was pretty excited because I like trying new things, but I was also freaking out because I had all these coaches looking at me as a hitter. And so when they came to the court and they didn't see me hitting, they lost interest because they didn't think that I was going to continue hitting.
He said, she's my best athlete, meaning her father said, she's my best athlete. She said, her sister's really athletic, but that's my best athlete. And I could embrace that because she has the full package.
So I kept losing interest, and my dad and I were freaking out. But I got lucky with a few coaches who saw potential in me, and one of those was Charlotte.
Making the transition from high school volleyball to college volleyball, Britney brought key qualities that would help carry her through her collegiate career.
She was one of those players that could move around. You know, teams tend to get in group spy positions, but she worked well with the outside hitters. They had some of the players on the team that had been together for a long time, so they had a good friendship bond.
Britney's just a fun spirit. She likes to have fun. She likes to compete. So the competing aspect, her and I really bonded because we both love to compete, and through the years it's only gotten worse in how much we compete against each other to make each other better.
I was not happy at first. I was very upset. I was like, I'm not getting the points. But when I started to look at it from a different angle, I was the one who was helping the team get the points. I was putting them in the position that would help us win. So I like the idea of being the quarterback of the team. I wouldn't be scoring the touchdowns or getting the kills, but I would be making the plan.
Being a setter, she had to manage plays and communicate plays to everyone, so Britney really had to have a special relationship with everyone on the court, and that just helped her become a leader by nature. And she's a very aggressive player, so she also didn't have any problem, letting people know this is what y'all need to do, and she was good at it.
So I never really thought I was the best. I kind of always looked at our team as the underdog because they're these huge names, and then we're just kind of in there. So that helped me a lot, but still coming here and just seeing people who are a few years older than me and I'm playing with them was weird. It was like high school, but the skills are so much better.
So I was in the back row, so Britney got to yell at me if she didn't have the ball in the place that she wanted. So I'm supposed to make Britney's job easy, and if she's running around, that's all my fault. So my job is to make her job easy so she can run our offense.
Maintaining a positive attitude despite any doubts she may have had, Britney entered each season with incoming and outgoing teammates, along with 3 different head coaches.
Britney is one of those that is just a phenomenal athlete. And so it was hard to see leadership in any of them because it took me a while to get to know all of them personally and individually. But she is a great leader. She's a great physical floor leader. She does a lot and shows a lot of her leadership through the things that she does. I really was impressed with her effort and her hard work. I knew she was going to be experiencing a 3rd coach in her career here, and that's just really always a tough adjustment for any athlete.
It was hard. I loved my first coach, the whole staff. It was like, Redding was a dad to me. I still talk to Bubba. I coach with him at our club. So I was really close with them. I came here, I know they tell you not to, but I came here a lot for the coaches because I felt like if I was gonna go far away, I felt comfortable being with them. But Gokhan, his skill set was amazing. He improved me as a setter so much. Like, I loved coming to practice because I knew I'd learn something brand new and he'd help me perfect the skill.
To arrive here with this group was excitement. They were working hard. They're a very hard-working, committed group.
And so when he left too, it was hard because I had the whole idea again coming in with coach this year. It's just the whole idea of it's a new one. It's a new beginning. I'm a senior. Like, I don't know if she really wants me here or if she's just keeping me because it's one season. So it's just hard. I know they tell me not. They don't believe that at all, but there's just always in the back of my head, like, sitting there.
I knew she was going to commit to what we were doing from the very beginning. I knew she was very open to trying new systems and trying new things and getting training. And when she started to show her openness to what we were trying to do as coaches, then a lot of the other players bought in, and that leadership really was a good exercise for both of us.
Being a strong individual and leading by example, Britney could handle most any problems on her own, including the ones in her shoes.
Britney's feet is a topic of numerous locker room conversations, just in the fact that she usually has to wear men's shoes because her feet are so large.
She had bunions, yes. She had a lot of foot issues from what she told me. And then with our athletic training staff, they shared with me. So she's a typical senior that you play this sport and your body pounds the floor and you play in a lot of pain. And through the end of our season, she had some pretty significant injuries that could have impaired her playing.
Oh, okay, well, first of all, it's a bone. For anyone who doesn't know that, it's a bone. But my grandma has them, my mom has them, and they both had surgery on them. But I had them my whole life, and I knew I'd need surgery on it just because they hurt and they're always there, and like I had to make shoe choices because of them, and just as a girl, that sucks. But I didn't want to get the surgery because I didn't want to ruin my chances to play in college. Like, I just didn't want surgery to take away certain options of like colleges I could go to. So I made the choice probably in middle school or the beginning of high school that I wouldn't get surgery till after I was done.
She's always had problems with them and had pain, but she's a fighter. She just fights through the pain, and so now that she's completed her eligibility, she finally got the bunions taken care of, so she can not be embarrassed as much with her feet.
Bunions or no bunions, there comes a time for every college student athlete where their career in college sports comes to a bittersweet end.
God, that was hard. I kept going in and I was like, oh, it's just another game, it's fine. But as soon as Peanut and Sarah went out with their parents, I blacked out a little bit. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna cry, I can't do it. So I think my mind was just like, okay, we're shutting you off. I don't remember hearing anything what they were announcing. I didn't hear anyone cheering. I just walked with my parents, honestly. My parents kept saying, they're like, oh, they said really nice things. I was like, I don't know what they said. I was just trying to make it through.
I'm gonna miss her a lot. I know we had a short, brief time, and I think through the lot of it, they didn't always know why we were doing the things that we did, but the investment and energy that she put into her career, even the last year here, she's gonna be a great success beyond here, so.
But I'm gonna miss working out with Stacy, for sure. I found that it's hard to motivate myself when she's not yelling in my ear. But just being with everyone, like I was always with the girls, and now that I'm not playing anymore, it's weird that I don't see them every day. Like I was just used to, I took advantage of it too, that they were just always there. And I could always talk to them. Now I have to go out of my way, I guess, to plan something with them so I can still see them, which is just different. I still look back at some games where I'm thinking I should have set this person, or I could have done a different play here. And but I can't keep thinking about it because I'm gonna beat myself up over it. But it's hard. The power, like being a setter and being able to make that choice is good sometimes, but it can also be a curse.
She moved up to 6 on Charlotte's all-time career assist list after dishing out 33 against Eastern Michigan on September 5th. She followed that up with a career-high 7 blocks versus Furman, and just 3 days later became the 6th person in Charlotte history to hit 3,000 career assists with a season-high 49. Just crossed over the 3,500 assist plateau on Thursday versus Florida Atlantic.
I have no idea. I mean, I want to keep coaching. I love the sport, so I want to stay in it. And I have teaching as my career path right now, but I don't know. I mean, I've looked at other things. Like I know someone who's in marketing with English or does advertisements. So I'm going to look into that too, but as of right now, I'm going to be teaching high school.
Our setter flying south from Brookfield, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen,